Any day you're in Grand Cayman's a good one. It's game number 3 of the Cayman Islands Classic Basketball Tournament. And it features Utah State and Marshall. Alongside Jess Settles, Matt Martucci, glad to be spending this one with you. And just like last game, partner, lots of tempo in this game. Did you bring your tracksuit? I don't think we could keep up with Marshall.
Absolutely. The Thundering Herd, they call it organized chaos. They want to get a shot up in 7 seconds or less. And for Utah State, a completely new lineup, but they can get up and down as well.
And already 2 results in the books. A couple of teams in game number 2 of the day that really like to get up and down. Stephen F. Austin, and the one we just had, came back from 11 down to take care of Loyola Marymount. Drake beat Oakland. So those 2 teams will meet at 1:30 tomorrow. Winner of this one gets winner of FIU and Akron still to come. Marshall likes to push the pace. They have a big man that can run the floor, Nate Martin.
He's a jack of all trades, a Swiss Army knife, or however you want to say it. Does everything for the Thundering Herd. Brings the ball down the court, rebounds, shoots the 3, attacks the rim. They like to run isolations for him, and you have to know where he is at all times on the court if you're Utah State.
Meanwhile, Thundering Herd have a handful to deal with on defense, and that's Great Osobor, one of the best in the country.
250 pounds of steel. He shoves everybody all over the court. 7'3" wingspan, can dunk it on his tippy toes. Not a lot of answers for him. He's also a capable passer, so size versus speed, another great opportunity for both teams at the Cayman Islands Classic to get a big win.
Mountain West up against the Sun Belt today. Utah State the white. Thundering Herd in the dark green. And Marshall starts with the basketball. Jacob Connor and Kevon Boyles, who gets a little separation on the baseline. And there's that shot rather quickly, Jess Settles. Here comes Utah State. Take a look at Marshall. Talked about Nate Martin. Camden Kerfman, probably the best shooter on this team. One of the best snipers in the Sun Belt a year ago. Right to the cup. And Connor unable to get that one to go. And for Utah State and head coach Danny Sprinkle. Talked about Osobor. Darius Brown, who's guarding the ball. The 2 of them basically spearheading this attack. Both played for Montana State last year. And too many steps for Nate Martin to travel on Marshall.
Great and Darius, 25 wins together for Montana State last year. Coach Sprinkle brought them over. These guys just know how to win. Both would have been dominant players back where they came from, but they've stepped up, and early in the season, this is their team. They know how to stuff a stat sheet, both of them, inside and out.
And Josh Aduje, the Coastal Carolina transfer, a really good one in that starting lineup, too. Entry into Osobor. Oh, and a punch down, Isaac Johnson. The redshirt sophomore gets the scoring started for Utah State. And quickly the other way, Marshall drawing contact.
Osobor, he pulls up. Look, you cut with integrity, he will find you. Not just a one-dimensional player. Johnson and Osobor, the kind of a old school 90s team. These guys can go 3 out, 2 in. They can play high-low. They can be physical, and they both can start a fast break. Multi-skilled team. Now, a lot of these guys not used to playing with each other, but so far earlier in the season, the chemistry's been solid for Utah State.
And speaking of chemistry, Marshall trying to build theirs. After the graduation of the program's all-time leading scorer, Tavion Kinsey, and then, as Dan D'Antoni put it, got poached by some of the Power 5 schools. But he did some poaching of his own. That's why Nate Martin's on this roster. Osobor over the front of the rim and fouled. We brought that up in our conference call, and he said he reached out to us.
Well, again, if you let him get this deep, it's going to be a long night. You got a side front, get your feet moved, get your hands up, get some help on the block. But he's a willing passer, which makes him so tough. But you're right, when it comes to Marshall, the portal, it's organized chaos even in the portal. I mean, that's what they call their offense, but you just never know where these guys are going to end up. It's hard to keep track. It sometimes helps you, sometimes it kills you.
You remember Venn diagrams, you know, where you circle, you have like overlapping circles? I feel like you need one just to figure out the transfer portal anymore.
No doubt.
Guys are on like 4th and 5th schools. Boyles with the shot clock inside 10. Poked away, bodies tumbling everywhere. Mason Falslev got the steal. Aduje comes out of the pack with it. Boyles almost stole it back, but good save by Falslev. Aduje steps into it.
Tremendous hustle, balls on the floor, 50-50 ball. They come up with it, and they're rewarded with the open look.
Drop off at this end, Boyles. And Marshall gets the layup. Two-point lead for Utah State. Trying to go high-low. Johnson. And taken away by Kerfman. Boyles off the bounce. Tough shot. And Osobor able to direct the rebound to himself. And the big guy running the floor, score it, and one. And on an NFL Sunday, just got tackled by the support.
I tell you what, you will rarely see a big man hustle like this. Martin just falls asleep for a second here. Watch 41, and Osobor takes it. And look at the backboard here. That thing just shook about 6 inches. The big fella ran right into it.
That's a good hit there by the support. Osobor looks to be okay, though. Great Osobor, who actually came off the bench last year with the Big Sky, was the top reserve in the conference. No longer. Now one of the best bigs in all of Division I. And we get action away from the basketball. Always a treat whenever you have Dan D'Antoni, 76 years of age. Well, the older brother of the former NBA head coach, Mike D'Antoni. And in his 10th season back at his alma mater, they'd like to go to the tournament, trying to get there for the first time since 2018.
Mike and Dan look so similar with the crossed arms on the sideline, just two geniuses. And here's an easy run out. And those are the types of plays you got to make against Marshall, who gets up and down the way they do.
The USC transfer, Max Agbonkpolo, punctuating that. Good start for the Aggies. Crawford. And that's off of Marshall. Last touch by Kevon Boyles. There's Danny Sprinkle, year number 1 for the Montana State grad. Left his alma mater after taking it to the tournament back-to-back seasons. Opportunity came about after Ryan Odom took the VCU job. And maybe a chance to take Utah State back to the tournament, but it's a brand new roster, Jeff Settles. Didn't return any of their scoring because they lost their head coach.
Yeah, we'll talk about those losses a little later, but it was interesting. He said his defensive philosophy is don't get stuck in bad switches. If you can fight through the screen, stay with your man. And
Falslev cleaning that up. And now 9-point lead for the Aggies. Meanwhile, Dan D'Antoni's guys, as Kerfman sniping. to make this a two-possession game. I was about to say, Jess, to your point, Marshall pretty much switches everything. Speaking of throwing a switch, though, 6-point lead for Utah State out of the gate. Aggies have come to Grand Cayman fired up. The hustle play for the freshman Fallslev. They're up 6. Picked 9th in the Mountain West preseason poll. That's where Utah State was chosen at the conference's media day. And when you have 13 newcomers, that's probably why, but a little bit deceiving, Jess Settles. Danny Sprinkle with some really good pieces to build his team around if you're starting with Great Otzibor and Darius Brown.
Yeah, that's well said. I mean, those guys can light it up, but you rarely see a coach take over a program where not only 0 points returned, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 turnovers, 0 minutes returning. And this is a team in the Mountain West I've covered for the last couple of years, a handful of times. One of my favorite teams to cover, Coach Odom's teams. You talk about offense, you talk about a dynamic scoring force. They lost Ashworth and Funk and Shugla, Aiken and Jones. I hope someday the university can honor that NCAA tournament team because they were so fun to watch. I always got excited when I could roll in there. And when I started studying this game, I didn't see any of them there. They're just all gone. A completely different lineup, but off to a good start. This is an important 3 days for them to develop chemistry. Like you said, they do have some veterans. We don't know who they are right now.
Yeah, believe it or not, Ken Palm rates them as one of the top 50 most experienced teams in the country. I mean, they have a lot of guys that have played a lot of college basketball, just not in Logan.
Yeah.
Agbankpolo missed the mid-range. Martin on the face-up, right of the lane. And rebound pulled down by Aduje. Good hang for the native of London, but got it sent away. Marshall and Wyatt Fricks. Kerfman gets his own shot. Brown trying to set up Otzibor, got too deep. Aduje penetrating pitch, it stops Agbankpolo. Off the bounce, Martinez mid-range.
Great shot by Martinez. Marshall's got to find a way to get Martin in isolation situations. As he's got to attack Otzibor. He's got to try to get him in foul trouble, at least get to the free throw line. Right now, just settling for tough jump shots early in the shot clock.
Meanwhile, at this end, 60% out of the gate for Otzibor and Utah State. Now on Marshall.
Great Otzibor. He rebounds, he pushes the fast break. I mean, there aren't too many big guys you're going to run an isolation play for beyond the three-point line at the top of the key. And that's exactly what they did right there. And putting Martin in a little bit of foul trouble. It's just a remarkable play by a 250-pounder coming right into your living room.
It went same conference. Texas State to Marshall. You know, when you and I were growing up, you didn't see that. It just, you wouldn't have, other schools wouldn't allow it. But with the current landscape of college basketball, it's basically unavoidable.
Exactly.
Brown off the bounce and hits it. 11th made three of the year for Darius Brown, who came in at 41% from the outside. Double-digit lead for Utah State. Crawford got his own miss and dropped it off to the cutting Ryan Nutter. Freshman from Dublin, Ohio, has his first bucket. Otzibor lost the handle. Agbankpolo again, second theft, second result, same thing.
Coach Sprinkle told us this is our best perimeter defender. This guy can lock people down. The healthier he gets, the more elite he's going to be at that end, but just picks the pocket and goes in for the two-fister and gets a hand up at this end as well.
4 now for the USC transfer, another Marshall miss. Osobor out in the open court, the step through. Stayed with it, got stripped out of bounds.
Yeah, number 23 for Utah State. He's fitting in just fine. I mean, this is just all about anticipation, athletic ability. Puts it in the left hand, seals the defender. Nice throwdown. That's what he does.
When we talked to Danny Sprinkle during the week leading up to this, he was asked if they had the chance as Martinez gets this layup off the window to go anywhere, you know, to do like a preseason trip, a summer trip. And he said, no, you know what? Based on when I got the job and all the planning we had to do, there wasn't a whole lot of time. Marshall drilled the 3.
Okay, this is the pace that Marshall wants to play out of. They're off to a rough start. But can Oxford, who went to take a rest, that's good coaching by Coach Sprinkle, can he keep up with this pace? They've got him bringing the ball up the floor, playing on the wing. We're only 9 minutes in, and it's a track meet already. This is what the Thundering Herd want.
Agbankpolo missed that. Marshall gets another possession after they had that 3 by Milutinovic. What was their last one to get this to a 10-point game? Nice backdoor bounce, contact, and Boyle for free throw line trip. Impressive start to this game for Utah State. Has Marshall in a 10-point hole. Here on Flow Hoops. Well, looking at 7 Mile Beach. And a nice day to go fishing in Georgetown, Grand Cayman. What do you think, Jess Settles? Maybe after we're done?
Let's do it. That's the bluest water you will ever swim in. The perfect temperature. 7 Mile Beach, you mentioned, you stay at the Westin. You hang out with the family. It's just one of the most gorgeous places in the world.
Take a charter by Red Sail Sports. Drink a Smoothie King smoothie while you're on it. Got everything covered. Marshall selected 7th in the Sun Belt and ended up playing at the historic Greenbrier Resort in that game against Radford, which is their lone loss of the year. Dan D'Antoni told us his guys may be potentially still in awe of where exactly they were playing. Beautiful setting, but there were only about 1,000 people in that ballroom, and lost on what was a late 3 by Radford.
You know, one of the things that you want to watch when these guys play, they play centerless basketball. So you won't see a ton of posting up. Their guys will screen for the guards, pick and pop. They want to leave that lane open, outrun you, wear you down over 40 minutes. So the deficit doesn't bother them. They want to play fast, try to wear you down, foul you out, and get you to do foolish things with the basketball.
You can ask Wichita State all about that style of play. Ran into him in the tournament the last time Marshall was there. And got knocked around pretty good. As Isaac Johnson here to clean up this off the glass. Second field goal for Johnson. Utah State back up 11.
Isaac Johnson has really impressed me on tape. It's nice to see him playing well, but he's very versatile. You have to put a body on him or he'll come to the rim.
7 different players have scored for Danny Sprinkle's guys. Late whistle here. And Ryan Nutter drawing contact.
Yeah, the lane opens up. Pretty good dig, swipes and misses, and takes the hit.
Nutter giving them good bench minutes already.
It was so fun and enjoyable to talk to Coach D'Antoni. The stories he told us, his dad being a high school coaching legend, and he's talking about Jerry West, the ABA days. He's seen so much in this game, still has such a passion for it. And, you know, Mike and Dan, a couple pioneers, this centerless basketball, this small ball mentality, flying up and down, going back to their time with the Phoenix Suns. We could have stayed on with him for another couple hours.
Yeah, we were having a good time. And he is, too, signed a 3-year extension at Marshall. Said he feels like more coaches should just enjoy this ride. And speaking of enjoying it, Nutter making an impact and an offensive foul on Utah State.
Yeah, good call. Get that hand extended, a little shove in the back, maybe a little acting job there, but
you get to see in this event just how big everyone's staff is. And, Marshall has about 7 or 8 different guys with Hawaiian shirts on that bench. And Utah State continues to spread around its scoring, or excuse me, that was Kerfman for the Herd. And then Aduje this end for the basket, +1.
yeah, nice guard play. I mean, Kerfman, the 5th-year senior, he's the voice in the locker room. Then you go down to the other end, Aduje. Got to give him room to land in this situation. Lower body foul and 1.
Josh Aduje, the Coastal Carolina transfer, who they initially recruited, just like they did with Great Osobor. Assistant coach Chris Haslam, originally from London. And that was where that connection came from. Boyles drawing contact here, free throw line trip.
It's just so interesting to watch Marshall's offense. That lane is like the Red Sea. There's just no post presence. They definitely do not guard themselves. They got high volume shooters, and there you see Coach on the bench.
Yeah, there's Chris Haslam. Marshall back to within 10 after Voiles now with 4. One of 2 for Kevon Voiles. Utah State by as many as 13. Almost feels like our second game of the day, where Stephen F. Austin went down as many as 11 multiple times, but came back. Utah State throwing this away.
Yeah, that's just not Great's game right there. I mean, he's made a few plays, but he needs to move that on. There's Chris Haslam. He's bringing in all kinds of recruits from around the world, Matt.
Yep, one of Danny Sprinkle's assistants. Year 1 for Coach Sprinkle and Logan. Little pick and pop. Good offensive rebound. That was Chase McKee, the son of the former Sonic and Indiana Pacer, Derek McKee. And the Ward on Aduje. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Just the point of emphasis, right? Anytime you extend the arm, there's no need for it. I like the pick and pop that you just called out by Marshall. But Osobor in that ball screen situation, let's see if they come back to that. Try to keep the big man on the perimeter defensively.
Marshall held to just 5 of 16 to start. Voiles with another miss. There's Nutter. Call him an energy drink or a smoothie off the bench.
Yeah, it's just nice to see a freshman step up in this type of game against a great team under pressure and make those kind of plays.
5 now for Nutter. Osibor, did that hit the support? They count it. +1.
It almost looked like it flew out of his hands and went right up on top of the backboard on the edge. Keep your eye on this. He goes up, just kind of slips, and I couldn't see it from this angle. Definitely gets hit on the arm. Count it.
And D'Antoni going a little deeper into his bench. More than halfway going to the first half. Alongside the former Iowa great Jeff Settles, Matt Martucci. Nutter and Marshall still within striking distance. Done a good job not letting this get out of hand here in the first half. Kick out, Boyle, big shot. Inside 10 again.
Came into the tournament only 2 of 16 from beyond the three-point line, so that's a great sign, and there was no hesitation.
Transfer from Maryland Eastern Shore and MEAC. Kevon Boyles has Marshall back to 7, and a miss from Brown at this end. Boyles this time maybe wanted it a little too much. Martinez off the bounce, rattles it home.
Yeah, the Maryland transfer, I saw that a lot when he's playing for the Terrapins. He shot 40% from 3 last year. He's got that mid-range jumper, and I think he's going to fit in very well in this system.
Yeah, I mean, if this is the team that was picked 9th in the Mountain West, I want to see the other 8. Utah State looking good early on. Kevon Boyles trying to keep Marshall in the game. One more look at it. Thundering Herd down 9 here at Flow Hoops. Now during the break, conversation getting a little bit heated. That's former Thundering Herd swingman Ryan Taylor, who's the assistant director of operations on Dan D'Antoni's staff, saying, hey, we'll agree to disagree here.
Yeah, it's always very interesting in these tournaments, Matt. There aren't a lot of people packed into the gym. It gets quiet during the timeouts. You can hear the coaches yelling, the players. It's a little contentious. It's a difficult game to officiate as an official because there's just so much you can hear that you couldn't normally hear with 20,000 people at a game.
And Ryan Taylor not too far removed from his playing career. Former All-Conference USA selection. And one of the all-time Thundering Herd greats. But not liking what apparently this crew was giving them. Agbankpolo. And we get activity under the basket. Fouling the Herd again.
But Chase McKee battling Osibor down on the post, and you're right. We talked about during the break, Marshall bringing in a lot of bodies. Got to use fouls against big number 1, and he'll wear you down and foul you out. But that's an obvious foul, but you appreciate the effort. He's going to parade to the free throw line if they keep grabbing him like that.
They don't have the services of Obinna and Achille Killen, who's a senior from Nigeria. And Dan D'Antoni had let us know potentially going to be a passport issue or something along those lines. So unavailable. And miscommunication here, thrown away. Jackson was chasing it down. Bird have given it away what's now 6 times.
Jacob Condor, number 4, you see him right there on the screen. He's a 6'10" point guard. So far, he hasn't been able to get going. He's got to pick up the pace a little bit, push the ball, get this team running even more than they normally do.
Yet they're only down 10. As Agbankpolo misses the jumper. Kind of surprised, honestly, Jess, the way that this game's gone, that it isn't more. McKinney. Crawford now. And just all kinds of out of sorts. 7th turnover now for Marshall. Basically all Utah State from the jump. Just like in our second game, where Stephen F. Austin basically didn't lead until late in the second half. Marshall keeping this to no more than 13. Good seal there for Osterborg. And a free throw line trip coming for him.
The more Utah State moves the basketball, the better it is. Marshall likes to switch everything, like you said off the top, Matt. They get the mismatches they want, and Osterborg can pin and conceal. And if he gets a guard on him, he's just going to attack the rim. He's got to make those free throws, but screening critical for the Aggies so they can create those mismatches on the post.
McKee trying to use the rim as the shield on the reverse layup attempt, and it's tough sailing down there when you're having to deal with Osterborg.
Yeah, no question. He had him off his feet, and he let him off the hook. If you get him up in the air, you almost have to jump into him and make the official make a decision. You're trying to come in there and get him in foul trouble. If you fade under the basket, like you just said, I mean, that's a tall task if you don't go up with authority.
Chase McKee sits down. Can remember his dad and some of those Eastern Conference runs, teaming with Reggie Miller and Rick Smits and the Pacers. And then you go even further back, was in Seattle with Xavier McDaniel.
He was so incredible. Just such a skilled player. And I mean, we spent our childhood watching the Pacers and Bulls, Knicks, Pistons, Celtics. Those were incredible battles every single time.
Yeah, I forget what the Pacers arena is now, but back then it was Market Square. I can remember some serious battles, Pacers Celtics, on the tail end of Larry Bird's career. Does it make you feel old, Jess? Derek McKee has a son now playing college basketball.
It sure does. The game has changed a lot, the analytics, the three-point shooting, but I did love when it was a mixture of both. Great shooting, power inside, and got another offensive foul by the Aggies.
Yeah, Osterborg. First one he's been whistled for. Feels like we've been stuck at this 10-point deficit for a little while. Good skip. Long of the three-point try. Jackson crossed the lane. And the sophomore from Houston gets bumped.
Yeah, good dribble penetration. Look at the seal there by number 1. He created space for his teammate, and he gets up on the basket. I mean, Osterborg has such a high basketball IQ. He did not touch the ball there, but he's the reason Jackson was able to get to the rim.
And when you lose Obina and a Chili Killen for Marshall, one of the biggest things is their communication. You know, in terms of where to be, positioning in the pick and roll, the pick and pop. So a leader with 3 years worth of experience in Dan D'Antoni's system. Tough to replace that for Marshall.
Tell you, I would have tagged Ossibor here. I would try to pick up that second foul. That's a tough shot there, Matt.
And Kerfman missed it, but cleaning it up. Jacob Connor, there he is.
You're speaking of old school, he's got a little Tony Kukoc in his game, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. I like that comparison. Except Kukoc was a southpaw, if I remember right, wasn't he?
That's right.
Ossibor throws that over to the Hawaiian shirt triumvirate on the Marshall bench. Utah State by 9 here at Grand Cayman. That doesn't look like a bad place to sip a cocktail. Utah State by 9 here at game number 3 of the 2023 Cayman Islands Classic. Just getting started. Alongside the former Iowa great Jess Settles, Matt Martucci. And thanks to the fine folks at KMAX Sports for having us. CEO Joe Wright, the president Victor O'Garo, Chief Strategy Officer Jill Turk, and legal counsel Al Wilson. And the 2 media coordinators on site, Rob Shabert and Mike Mahone, getting us everything that we need.
I could swear I saw Al Wilson coming in late to the game there. He was sitting in those chairs on the beach. He's enjoying that a little too much, Matt.
I thought you were suggesting he might have had some work to do earlier today, and that was why he didn't get in. Kerfman. Miladinovic. And there's Nutter still hustling, keeping the possession alive.
Oh, how active has Ryan Nutter been in this game? A little undersized, but I'll tell you, good things happen when you crash the boards. Even a fingernail on it, you keep it alive, you come up with the loose ball. They're trying to scrap back into this game. Keep your eye on number 14. All right, he's getting shoved out. He takes on the giant and comes up with the loose ball. Those are just the type of guys you love to coach.
Designed inbound for Kevon Boyles. The catch and curl. And just like that, 7-point game. Lead was as many as 13 at one point this first half. Martinez got stripped, late whistle.
I talked about Martinez, Maryland, great spin move. Might have been bailed out on that one. Got a little bit out the control, but nevertheless heads to the free throw line. And yeah, the Aggies can play fast. They can play slow. They can play inside and out. But I think at this point, Marshall can live with this pace. They want to keep pushing the pace, get up and down, a little bit of helter-skelter. Coach Antoni told us, he said, look, we're not going to have a problem scoring. We've got to improve defensively, but we feel like we have the weapons over 40 minutes to hang 80, 90 points against most people we play.
Utah State on pace to get 70 plus. Two teams that can score the basketball. Marshall came in almost 76 a game. Utah State almost 87. Miladinovic got stripped with 9 on the shot clock. We'll stay at this end.
Yeah, the Aggies wanted to travel, but it looked like the right call. There was the deflection of the ball.
Designed inbounds this time, opposite baseline. Kerfman couldn't convert. Ossibor. Perimeter shot not completely in his wheelhouse yet, but Danny Sprinkle said he's working on it. Wanted him on the high-low. That's off Utah State.
Well, Darius Brown, the number 10 for Utah State, he's only taken 2 shots in this game. He needs to get more attempts at the basket. But that was a brilliant pass into the big fella, very unselfish, the perfect arch. He's just got to catch it and do something with it. But keep your eye on number 10 over the last couple minutes here. Let's see if he gets a little more assertive.
Good jump hook by Milutinovic, and then Nutter a little too aggressive there. Crashing into Osobor.
Again, Nutter comes flying in. I like the aggressive play, but Osobor, he's been literally and figuratively a huge factor in this game. He is so strong, so skilled, and they're going to win a lot of games this year with him in the paint. There's no question.
Yeah, again, and I think the reason for the 9th pick, just the fact that Danny Sprinkle more or less had to build his program around 2 players that he coached a year ago at Montana State. But for having a few months to assemble everything, looking pretty good.
Yeah, great would have probably been the player of the year in the Big Sky, but he comes over with his coach, and he's a basket away from a double-double in the first half. He's been so impressive, and they've managed his minutes well in this game so far.
They had big-time energy the other night. Played their only game against an in-state rival of the season against Southern Utah this past Tuesday. And atmosphere at their home arena was just absolutely crazy. But here in Grand Cayman, you have to create your own a little bit. And they've done a good job of that. Kerfman missed the 17-footer. Out of bounds, last touch by Marshall.
Well, they want to shoot quickly, but that shot by Kerfman, low percentage shot, foot on the line, little bit of a fade. He's got to be more disciplined. Just a 10-point game. You got to play in your system and get it up and down, but you still want to take high-quality shots. Well, there's the mismatch down low.
The skip on Bancolo, way long.
Osobor had Kerfman on him, and you have to let him get the ball inside right there.
And that one's out of bounds. Yeah, honestly, the way Marshall has shot and turned the basketball over in the first half, probably a good sign for Dan D'Antoni if you could get this into the break at 10 or less. Decent first half for Martinez, who came in averaging a little less than 6, has 8 already. Dan D'Antoni, another guy who loves the Cayman. Excited about the opportunity to come down with his kids. 1 of 2 for Martinez. McKee back in. It's the long jumper.
Yeah, an interesting play there. A high post to McKee, then a pin down on the wing. And if he's open, he can make that shot. It's a good look. He's got to keep putting it up.
11-man rotation tonight for Dan D'Antoni. Danny Sprinkle playing 10. Shot clock down to 5 for Utah State. Yeah, great entry. Brown to his teammate Osobor. 10 now for great Osobor. Dangerous time here for Marshall. Kerfman at the big offensive rebound. Connor scoring and 1.
Yeah, great Osobor. I mean, he's just shown us everything. The double-double. Look at this. Just whips it on the bounce right up into the perfect shooting pocket. And I'll tell you what, look, he's got the goggles up, letting everybody in the gym know he can get it done. And that's a high percentage look. squares the shoulders. Those will fall. When you're fading and floating, it makes it tough to knock them in.
I haven't called Kerfman's name a ton tonight. Only one made three. Marshall was a team 25% from the perimeter. Fallslev was backing up like that one was going down for Utah State. Crawford with the drop off Martin. And inside of where it was at the half.
Is known for that drag screen on the fast break. The initial action's not there. Martin runs over, sets the drag screen, rolls to the basket, gets rewarded. That's one he's bad all day.
And first bucket for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different players have scored now for Dan D'Antoni and the Herd. Osobor, quick footwork, got around Martin. And apparently beat the clock. Whirling dervish for Crawford, off target on the floater. But able to jump in and create the steal. And the carry on Kevon Boyle, they say.
Well, Osobor gets the ball down low. He doesn't try to conquer Martin. He kicks it back up, and look at he reestablishes. He bully balls down another couple feet, uses the wing, spins to the basket. That's a veteran move. He used the kick out to reestablish, knowing he'd get it back in a better position.
Marshall having to triple team him. Yeah, I think the biggest difference with this year's version of the Herd compared to what you had a year ago or even 4 or 5, you don't have a guy that can pretty much get 30 on any given night like you did Tavion Kinsey last year, and you wind it back a couple of years like Conference USA's all-time leading scorer John Elmore. But they do have Cameron Kerfman. Brandon Kerfman with the triple.
And Cameron's the voice in the locker room. A great leader. If they're going to get back in it, he's going to have to hit more shots like that.
8 now for Kerfman. And we get action away. Isaac Johnson apparently pushed off.
What do you think, Matt? I think the Marshall coaching shirts have been the best so far today at the tournament, right? We're going to find a way to get Coach D'Antoni to send one of those our way before this is said and done. Look at that.
That's some support staff, by the way. That's what I said. I mean, it's like a convoy of Hawaiian shirts over there. Martin off the window, 9-point game. Make it 8. All 4 of his points in the second half for Nate Martin. Here comes Marshall. And Fallslev turned it over.
Well, Martin, the versatility. They like to run a lot of isolation for him. Great little rub screen, gets his shoulder down, and that is a big-time play against an awesome defender. That gets him going.
Could you do that off the bounce, face up like that and go in?
I think if number 1 was standing in there, I'd probably pass it and go screen for somebody.
Penetrating pitch, Martin setting up Connor. Brown probing. Martinez basically unabated to the basket, but couldn't finish. held ball, arrow over to Marshall. This was the 13-point game at the break. And so far, Marshall, an 11-point second half, down 8. Holy shirts and pants in the Grand Cayman. 8-point Utah State lead. And Marshall on its way back with some, I like the attire, Jess Settles. What do you think? Those are good looking shirts.
Shirts of the week so far. You got the palm trees, you got the green. I mean, Coach Antoni, I mean, back when he's a high school coach, he probably did, I'm not even sure he had one assistant. Now it looks like he's got about 25 of them.
Those tearaway warm-ups look like the wrapper for Fruit Stripe gum or something like that. You remember that? Yikes, Stripes, Fruit Stripe gum?
Yeah, you get like two chews and the flavor's gone after the second chew.
That's exactly right. 6 now for Martin. Here comes Marshall. Two-possession game. Hard to believe based on where we were at the break.
Utah State got the switch they wanted. There we go. Great job by Crawford stepping in on the switch.
Osibor tried to save it, couldn't. It goes right to Camden Kirkman. And a third team foul on Utah State.
Camden Kirkman was stuck again on Osibor. It was big trouble. But Cameron Crawford steps in at the last second, makes the wise switch, and gets the steal.
Only 9 total field goals the entire first half for Marshall. 6 here in the second in the first 5:19. Things going much better for the Herd.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting, Matt. You've covered a lot of sports. It's almost like a walk in baseball. You walk somebody and they find a way to score. And the Aggies took 16 free throws in the first half, but only made 9 of them and let Marshall hang around.
Boyles brings this down to a 4-point game. 13 now for Kevon Boyle. Martinez. Good rotation by Connor. Brown missed the mid-range, deep rebound. Crawford. Boyles spins it off. Brown filling the lanes. Osibor might have gotten away with some steps. Martinez on the kick out, and that's a big response. Only the second 3 of the year for Ian Martinez. It was only shooting 16% coming in. And Agbankolo, same result, different side of the floor. 3rd dunk of the night.
What a turn of events. Boyles with the open 3 in transition to make this sucker really close. And it turns against them. They get a couple runouts. Now they're back 9. Back up 9.
Ed Connor got set up for a great look there. Just couldn't knock it down. Nice job by Martin to find him. Osibor draws in the double. Little 2-game Brown. Airballs the 3. Boyles, the acceleration right around Osibor. Have to keep giving him the ball.
Brown
Boyles' confidence way up tonight. Martinez got Crawford up in the air. Long, Agbankolo offensive rebound. Shot clock back to 20. Brown, second chance. No. Crawford trying to bring this back to 2 possessions. A up on one foot. There it is. Marshall getting points in bunches.
Darius Brown just looks a little tired. He's on tape has looked so much more explosive, and he's going to have to play well down the stretch for Utah State to bring this one home. And if they want to win this tournament, he's going to have to play a lot better.
Boyles challenging Martinez and didn't quite have his footing, looked off balance. Polo splits the foul line. Aduje, tough angle, nearly got the roll. And a foul on Jacob Connor. But this is much different here at Grant Cayman.
Cameron Crawford can do this. He's on the radar of some scouts. Nice Kobe step back. 5-point game, though. Still anybody's opportunity.
5-point game, believe it or not. Marshall's cut this all the way down from what was as many as 15. Matt Martucci just settles. How have they done it here?
Well, taking better shots, that's for one. Been able to get deeper into the paint. They love to spread you out. Nate Martin lowers the shoulder. He's been a lot more aggressive. He's going to have to play big down the stretch, but a ball movement, the attacking of the rim, it's been fun to watch, and great job by the coaches to adjust at halftime, come out, make this a ball game. And it's a 5-point game. It felt like Utah State was going to run away with this one.
Dan D'Antoni having some fun. "76 years old, Jess settles, 3-year extension. He's going to coach for as long as he wants to."
I love it. This seems like a guy you would want to play for, a guy you'd want to send your son to play for. What he told us, he goes, anticipation and perception will kill you. Because when I was a younger coach, every possession I took personally, and the losses were so hard on me. Now it's about the journey, the relationships, trips like this. Obviously, you got to win at this level, which he does, but not all about winning all the time.
Nice extension for Crawford. Got hit on the arm. Well, has also done it and has been successful at it for a while. I think it's a little easier to want to squeeze it less when you've been in the game longer, right?
Right. And he believes in the system, and he knows it works, and he knows kids like to play in that system, this positionless basketball, centerless basketball. Everybody gets to run up and down the floor. All 5 positions have an opportunity to score. If you're willing to run, you can play for this guy. I love that he said Amari Stoudemire, when he was playing for the Suns, said, "Do I look like Carl Lewis? Like, all you do is make me run up and down." And he said, just trust me, keep running, and it'll work out well. And I think that game, he said that he ended up with 40 points with a big dominant second half.
Yeah, he said you'll have 40 by the end of the game. He finished with 33. Shot clock down to 5. Javon Jackson having to be the bailout. Almost got that to go. Marshall can get to within 1 possession. Hurd have still never led this game. Crawford got knocked out, got it back. Right to the cup, Fricks. And first time we're calling his name tonight.
Well, the problem, if you're Mason and Max, sometimes playing too hard can hurt you. They can't come up with a loose ball. Look how they get out of position here, Matt. There's 2 of them at half court. That puts the rest of the defense in a precarious situation. And you appreciate the effort, but once in a while, the effort ends up hurting your team. If you can't come up with the steal, young players, you can't go for it.
I mean, how often do you see somebody miss when they jump the passing lane and it comes back to bite them?
Yeah, perfect example right there. You love the hustle, but you have to be guaranteed to come up with that loose ball, or it puts your big man in a world of hurt against guards, and they're going to get to the rim.
They lob into Asabor, 2-game, falls left. That's a big shot. The redshirt freshman from Benson, Utah, makes this a 7-point game again. Good bounce game, Martin from Fritz. Got it blocked, but got hit on the arm. Second personal on Asabor.
No, Nate Martin. He gets the ball down low. You've got to be crafty right here. Left foot's the pivot foot. Goes to that right one. May have gotten away with a walk, but gets hit there on the arm. And it's a big challenge for him tonight, but played a good second half so far, keeping his guys close.
Averaging a double-double coming in. All his points pretty much coming in the second half. Give him 8. Go along with 4 rebounds and a couple of steals. Winding down the second half in Grand Cayman. If you just happen to join us, Utah State led by as many as 15. Connor gets hit with the foul. Check that, Ryan Nutter.
Keep your eye on Great. When he catches the ball in the post, on the last possession, Marshall sent the double. It was very effective. They've been keeping him in check in the second half, just 2 points. But Great did a great job of kicking the ball out for the 3. So we'll see if that double keeps coming. I agree with it. I think you've got to double him, force him to kick it out and let somebody else beat you.
Yeah, normally it would be somebody like Brown, but you'd said it before. Looks like he might be a little gassed. Falls left, can he do it again? No. But Jackson gets the rebound, shot clock back to 20.
Well, Brown just not interested in taking the shot.
From Brown. $11 now for Mason Falls left, commits a foul here. And Marshall shooting the rest of the way.
I wonder if Brown's feeling a little under the weather. I mean, these are shots he would normally take, but eyes all over the place. Great cut, backdoor for the easy basket. Falls left, but I agree with the double team on Asabor. He's kicking the ball out. You want it out of his hands as much as possible. You got to convert on those free throws if you want to get back in this game.
That's a tough miss on a front end.
Yeah.
Marshall's 7th one from the foul line. They're 10 for 17 as a team, sub 60%. Devon Jackson and Asabor. Agbankolo, Falls-Lev, and Darius Brown. Brown having to be the bailout. Evaded Fritz and hit it.
Now, we were beginning to wonder what Brown could do for you. And, well, he just showed us. That's just a big-time play. Excellent spin move. Impossible shot. Utah State, Marshall in a nice battle down the stretch.
Darius Brown with this ball apparently still in his hands as the shot clock hits 0. And there you have it. And not out of his hand yet. So great play, but doesn't count. 7-point game. Still where we are, 57-50. Utah State on top of Marshall. Day one of the Cayman Islands Classic, 5th year for the tournament. It's just an absolutely beautiful venue at John Gray Gym. And still have one more. FIU and Akron still to come. Looking forward to watching the dip and their stud down low, Enrique Freeman, Michael Dawson. And that's scheduled for what's a 7:30 tip. Drake in comeback fashion, able to take care of Oakland in our first game, strong late second half, and then Stephen F. Austin in the second game, back from what was 11 down multiple times to take care of Loyola Marymount, move on in the winner's bracket. Crawford got the separation, couldn't get the turnaround, and fouled fighting for the rebound apparently.
Well, I could just imagine Greg Campy right now sitting in the hot tub back at the Westin. Somebody hands him a stat sheet. He holds the All-American DeVries under 10 points, and Rocket Watts has a career game for him, and he loses. He's got to be beside himself. It was a brilliant game plan. The zone worked. He got the points that he needed, and you walk out with the loss. That's why so many coaches have gray hairs, and there are only a few of them like him who make it 40 years at the same school. But that hot tub's probably feeling pretty good about right now.
Might need something a little stronger than the cigar tonight.
Oh gosh, that's coaching, isn't it? It was a great game plan. There's just no way you lose that game when you look at that stat sheet. Turnovers hurt him.
They called that last foul on Javon Jackson. And Crawford converts a couple of big free throws, back to 2 possessions. An eternity worth of basketball left here. And Marshall still a couple of fouls to give as well, as you get deeper into this thing. Osibor drops it off Brown. Hesitation, shot clock cut in half. Marshall got a deflection. Brown again having to be the bailout with an inside 10. Brown again. Fading away, hits it, that one counts. Says, don't worry about it, this time I've got it. Out of the hand in time.
He likes to live on the edge, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. 5 now for Darius Brown. Picked a great time for only his second field goal. Utah State has led the whole game, continues to do so. Crawford just threw that away. Falls left, what a find, Aduche streaking to the cup. 10 now for Josh Aduche. Backdoor bounce at the other end, not as crisp. Boyles, though, recovers in the mid-range. Intensity and pace have all of a sudden really picked up here in the last 2 minutes. Not that it needed any help. Osibor. Shot clock winding down again. Brown again. Crisp finish to the basket. Kerfman stalking the 3, and Nutter wasn't ready for it. Probably just should have taken the shot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Great Osibor with only 1 basket in the second half, and the Aggies needed Brown to find his rhythm, and he sure has. The buzzer beater that was taken away kind of triggered him a little bit, but I do think Marshall's doubling and switching has been better. They've switched with better integrity. They've been more forceful on the post, and I think that's the strategy down the stretch they'll continue to go with. They can live with someone else beating them, but they don't want big number 1 just parading to the free throw line and living around the rim.
They double Martinez. Brown almost got that to go. Nutter is looking for Martin. Osibor says, get that out. Boyles. Martin can't corral the board. Osterbohr has it. His 16th of the game. Down to 5 minutes. Alongside Jess Settles, Matt Martucci, still one more to go. FIU and Akron coming up at 7:30. It's been an entertaining first day of the 2023 Cayman Islands Classic. Martinez got it deflected. Shot clock will stay at 3. What's your favorite thing that you've seen today so far?
I like it that there are still teams out there that with power players inside, like the big fella who's going to flex and let you know about it.
Very well timed.
I mean, we talked about they've been able to keep him away from the rim. When he takes the hit, he is so strong, lives in the weight room in the best shape of his life. What a pickup. I think Utah State fans are really going to fall in love with this team as the season goes on, because this guy's going to be dunking on people. He's going to get the crowd fired up. Brown's going to play a little bit better. And after that brilliant team they lost last year, a lot of new faces, but these guys are going to be fun to get behind.
Off the pick and roll, they find Martin. Marshall still alive. 10 now for Nate Martin, the Texas State transfer. Polo, good entry, contact, blocking foul, score the basket. That may have been the knockout there from Osterbohr.
Wow, I mean, there's the mismatch. The double comes a little bit late. A bang-bang play, and Great's been great.
His parents named him that because he was their greatest gift, apparently.
Nice.
Wow, and I mean, you're a dad, I'm a dad. That's exactly what kids are. They are our best gift.
Well, there's no doubt about it, but I've never met anyone named Great. I thought it was a typo.
Neither have I.
This game has been all about him. He's been the difference from the opening tip. Could Marshall match up with him? Could they rebound? Could they contain him? For the most part, the answer has been absolutely not.
18 points, 16 rebounds, what he sticks down with. Nutter missed the floater. Martinez up top. The punch down for Khalifa Sacco. The 6'11" junior from France.
They look great. Takes the bench, and you think, okay, we get a minute without a big fella. Not so fast. That is an awesome catch. A better throwdown, a two-fister. Utah State right now pulling away from Marshall late in the game.
A more collective sigh of relief for those who have made the trip from Logan, Utah. 71-56. Utah State on top of Marshall inside of 4 minutes left here in the second half. Matt Martucci, former Iowa great, just settles. This is day one of our men's tournament. Women's tournament will get started later in the week. 2 days on the 24th and 25th. 4 ranked teams, including the likes of UConn and LSU. Maybe get to see some Angel Reese, Paige Beckers. Hazy Fudd. It should be an exciting couple of days. And by the way, busy day today for KMAX Sports CEO Joe Wright, who was obviously paying attention to these games, but his son always playing for Archie Miller up at Rhode Island. They had a game up at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut against Washington State. Unfortunately, ended up on the wrong end of that one, but always right in his first year in the Atlantic 10. After playing college ball his first year in the great state of Oklahoma. And apparently a technical foul assessed to the Marshall bench. Oh, and it's, well, we talked about that's a little foreshadowing from before. That was down where Ryan Taylor, the assistant director of operations, and one of the Herd's all-time leading scorers. Aduje gliding to the cup, fouled here.
I'll tell you what, Matt, as a former head coach and an assistant coach, there's a rule that only the head coach can get the technical foul. So that's not a good situation there. This game not out of reach. If Dan D'Antonio wants to get the technical, that's fine, but you cannot have somebody, D'Antonio, you cannot have somebody on the bench pick up that technical foul. So that tough situation leads to some free points, and now you're almost down 20.
I can tell you, Ryan Taylor still as competitive as anybody. Was on the Marshall alumni roster this summer at the basketball tournament. Heard that team making a deep run all the way to the TBT semifinals, trying to win $1 million. But came up a little bit short in Philadelphia. See, this is where I thought the game could get in the first half. Credit to the Herd that it never really did until this point.
Yeah, a ton of credit to the Herd. When they hung around, they battled back. This is a very unique situation. You rarely are going to run into a power player like Osibor. You get 40-some points in the paint. They're not going to face a dominant presence like him much, but they battled back. Look, Boyles had an opportunity to cut this game to 1 on the transition 3, didn't get it together, but they battled hard in the second half, and they're going to have a phenomenal year. A lot of good pieces to work with.
Cameron Crawford is one of them. He's back in the game. Khalifa Sacco returning for Utah State. Double-figure game for Darius Brown. The way it was going didn't look like it was going to end up that way. But another one who's been huge down the stretch for Danny Sprinkle and the Aggies.
You're not kidding. He's got some phenomenal stats. He's played 130 games in his college career. He has 598 assists to only 200 turnovers. And I just have a feeling he's going to get some good rest tonight. I think he's going to come out tomorrow and have a monster game. When you watch him on tape, he's aggressive, he's confident, he lets it fly. We haven't seen the best of him, but I will say this. When things got tight there in the second half late, he made some huge shots down the stretch.
Yeah, 11 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover, to your point. One of the most efficient point guards in all of Division I. Now in closeout mode, the Aggies. Shot clock inside 10. Utah State get to relax a little bit. And Martinez basically puts the cherry on the sundae. 14 now for Ian Martinez. But you relax, you get to look at who your opponent potentially is. Maybe stick around to watch the next game. At least your coaching staff will. Guys that are in charge with the scout.
Oh, Voiles, what a spectacular spin move. You get the defender going one way, comes back in, takes the hit, just doesn't fit. So impressed with his game. Coach D'Antoni has a lot of pieces to work with. Yes, he lost a lot of scoring, but give these guys a couple weeks. I think they're going to be a load in the Sun Belt. Going to be right there at the end. Just love his offense, his impact on the game. His kids played hard. It's just so unique to go up against a power player like number 1 for Utah State.
Yeah, Osobor finishing with 18 points, 16 rebounds. Martinez, one more free throw line trip, perhaps. Top 25 today, UConn with a big win over Indiana. Miami actually beat last year's Cayman Islands Classic winner, K-State. It's another MTE, and Texas 81, Louisville 80. Apparently the Oral Roberts transfer, Max Ismuth with a game winner for Rodney Terry in Texas.
Max is still around.
Yeah, doesn't he seem like he's about 1,000 years old at this point?
I mean, was Max got to be on his 7th or 8th year by now?
Right, yeah. That Oral Roberts run seems like it was about 3 or 4 years ago at this point.
Right?
Well, I mean, you and I would have done the Tommy Callahan. Been on the 7-year plan.
But how good has Martinez been in this game, Matt? You have to be impressed. I mean, transferring is tough. You never know how you're going to fit in, but man, he's going to fit in so well here. His versatility, his confidence. You talk about picking the right plays. He's been sensational today.
Yeah, 15 for him on an efficient 5 for 9. Ping pongs around the lane. Crawford gets a layup. Teaching moment for Dan D'Antoni. Calls the timeout. Winding down game 3. Here at John Gray Gym, all Utah State on Flow Hoops. Great Osobor getting to rest for Utah State. Up 21 on Marshall. Awaiting the winner of FIU and Akron. And let's look at his day.
It's just been so powerful around the rim. I mean, it's not just his side. Look at the versatility, the sweetness of foot, kisses it off the glass. And I mean, if you've been watching this whole game, you see him rip and run. He's been leading the break several times. They've been working him out of the high post, backdoor cuts, brilliant passes. It's been a complete game for him. And I wasn't sure if he could keep up with this pace, but he proved everybody wrong, and he's going to be a major factor in this tournament. Just so excited to see him play and watch him dominate. Great Osobor. He's been more than great in this one.
And 23 double-figure games a year ago. I have a feeling that number is going to be smashed and then some. Getting to be the guy in this Utah State offense. Devon Jackson at the controls. 11-second differential between shot and game clock. And there's another punch down. Khalifa Sacco. He loves the Cayman Island. Doesn't want to go back to Logan, Utah anytime soon.
Well, just check out the bounce in his game. I mean, again, Aggie fans, there's a lot to be excited about. Just imagine 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, the chemistry on this team, how much better they're going to be. And we talked to Coach Sprinkle, and it was interesting. He said, I'm looking for guys who will separate, right, Matt? He said, we got so many good players, but I want people to separate. But on the other hand, the consistency has to be impressed with as well. And Martinez obviously separated in this game, but he's got a lot of weapons coming off the bench.
FIU watching. Excited to see their leading scorer in Arturo Dean. And Deshaun Gittens, a formidable 1-2 punch for the Golden Panthers out of Conference USA. That'll be our 7:30 tip to finish up day one. One more. Taco for the trifecta. Utah State pushes the accelerator late. 83-60. Danny Sprinkle and the Aggies moving into the winner's bracket here on day one of the Cayman Islands Classic. This is where the game could have gone in the first half, and it got there anyway.
A great Osibor with a dominant double-double in the paint. Just showed us every facet of his game. And if you're the Thundering Herd, you got to get up tomorrow and keep pushing the pace. A lot of pieces to work with. Some tremendous passing. They were just overwhelmed in the paint. Sometimes you just tip your hat to your opponent and move on, but a good battle. A good surge in the second half by the Thundering Herd.
Game number 4 still to come. 3 of them in the books. Utah State joining the likes of Drake and Stephen F. Austin in the winner's bracket. What about Akron and FIU still to come? We'll find out. For my broadcast partner, Jess Settles, producer Lucas Haskins, and our entire fantastic crew, Matt Martucci saying so long from Georgetown, Grand Cayman, Utah State 83, Marshall 60. This has been the Cayman Islands Classic on Flow Hoops.